Hey, wellness crew. So, welcome to Yoga with Jenna, session 11. Today is going to be a little bit more of a chill type of flow. What I'm going to be doing is basically we're going to be focusing on poses that don't involve, too much standing. So if you have, a day or something where you need to be more laying down or seated, there's still ways that you can get your yoga in and still, feel a little bit of a burn or get that exercise, right? So that way we're eliminating any and all excuses. Sorry. So, in order to get warm, because I always think it's a great idea, and yes, I'm just going to use both of my yoga mats at the same time. So, in order to get warm, what I want us to do is start with our hands in front of us, okay? From there, we're going to roll back and down, okay? Then we're going to place the palms of our hands on our mat. We're going to bring our knees a little bit closer to us, and then we're going to bring our knees up so that way we can do knees to chest. From there, we're going to lift up our arms and extend them and roll back up, okay? So do this with your breath. I'm sorry if you can hear my back popping. Whoops. Last one. Okay. So from there, we're going to go into cat-cow, right? So, see, can you see me good? Okay. So, starting in tabletop, right? So, nice straight spine, or as straight as it can be. We're going to go ahead and look up, lift our butts, and then we're going to lower the crown of our head and arch our back. And just move with your breath. We got 3 more. And from there, we're going to widen our knees a little bit, unless you like them closer, and go into child's pose. Ideally, you would have your forehead on your mat, but I'm wearing makeup. And I didn't put my finishing spray on, so. And really feel that stretch in your upper back, especially when you're reaching to the top of your mat with your fingertips. Okay, from there, We're going to come back to sort of a tabletop, but what we're going to do is a modified plank. So we're going to be on our knees. We're going to come down to chaturanga and then come up into upward dog. Then we're going to come back down and have our chest lifted up off of the mat. Just like this is called cobra pose. And then from there, we're going to push off from our arms so we can get back into that modified plank position. So again, chaturanga, upward dog, back down, chest up and off the mat for cobra, and then push ourselves into that modified plank. Now, my arms are incredibly long. It's like, it's just a thing. Like my arms are a little bit long for my body. So with me, sometimes you won't see my hands completely underneath my shoulders. And maybe you have long arms too. So don't worry about, if there's a little bit of, wiggle room or space. Not everything looks perfect because some of us have bodies that actually are disproportionate. Mine is that my arms are too long for my body. Okay, so from our modified plank, chaturanga, upward dog, back down but chest up for cobra, and back to modified plank. And we're just gonna run through this. One more time. All right, and now we're going to go back into child's pose just for a moment. Try to have your butt near your heels and nice stretch as well in your upper back. Okay, we're going to come to a seated position. Whew, let me get my hair out of the way. And basically, we're going to start with just a twist. So you do want to sit with your legs cross-legged, okay? So whichever side you want to start on, doesn't matter, flow with your breath. So it's going to be a twist and a turn, and then nice and slow, twist and a turn to the other side. I'm inhaling, then I exhale. You'll feel this in your abdominal muscles a little bit, as well as your upper back and your neck. My neck, my back. Throwback. All right, we have 2 more on each side. All right, and now we're going to come into side bend. So with the side bend, you can just place your hand on the side, reach your arm over, and then do the same on the other side. Or you can try a forearm, reaching up overhead, and then doing the same thing. As long as your sit bones remain connected, then you're good with coming to your forearms. But if you notice that one side or the other, as you twist, is coming up off of the mat, just stick to having your hand. All right, we have 2 more on each side. Well, now we do. All right, 1 more on each side. All right, awesome. So now what I want us to do is go ahead and extend our legs, kind of lean back, but have your spine, you know, as long as you can have it. Sometimes I just like bend my elbows because, again, my arms are too long. I told you. So we're just going to bring a leg up and start doing circles to the outside, okay? So that's where we're going to start. We're going to place our heel down and we're going to do the same thing on the other leg. It's not going to be the exact same count on each leg, but that's okay. It's just an estimate. All right, so we did outside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to extend whichever leg we started with. We're going to bring the heel out further to the mat because we're going to be going to the inside. All right, same thing. Bring that heel out and then start doing your circles on the inside. It's perfectly normal to have your body, you know, not be super symmetrical. So maybe, you know, your circles will be bigger on one side, or maybe they'll be smaller on one side. But it kind of lets you see the strength of your thighs, you know, and also a little bit of the flexibility. So from there, what I want us to do is put our heels on the ground, kind of close to our butt. How did all this stuff get on me? Man, when you wear white leggings, that's when you notice all the shit all over you. Okay, so heels on the ground, our palms are on our mat with our fingers facing our heels, okay? Because we're going to come up into reverse tabletop. Just give me 2 more. All right, awesome. So we're going to extend our legs again, and we are going to do those inside circles. Now, regardless of how you're choosing to do them, I always suggest starting small and then getting bigger as you get more comfortable doing them. All right, other foot. You know, just so that way your ability to control is a little better. When they're bigger, they're a little bit harder to control sometimes. All right. Whew. Stretch those out. Okay. So now we're going to take whichever leg you started with, have that heel come to the outside of the mat a little bit so we can do the circles towards the inside. You may also notice a difference in the circle size if it's going, you know, if it's going clockwise or counterclockwise. All right, and now we're going to do the same thing with the other foot. Bring the heel closer to the edge of the mat, and then do our inside circles. And I'm a righty, so you can already see like my heel always wants to drag on the mat. So that's because I am stronger on my right side, our dominant side, which is the majority of us. So now we're going to bring our heels a little bit closer to our butt, our palms on our mat with our fingers facing our heels. We're going to lift our butt up, try to make a straight line, and come back down. Reverse tabletop. Give me 2 more. All right, awesome. Okay, so we're going to take one of our legs. They're not exactly crossed, right? So you're going to have one leg in front of the other. And then we're just going to do a seated forward fold, okay? So however flexible you are, that's great. If you can bring your head down to the mat, love it. If even just being here is enough of a stretch for you in your glutes, that's fine too. You can also rest on your forearms if you would like. And it's perfectly okay to have a rounded back, so no worries. All right, we're going to slowly roll up, and we are going to switch to having our other leg in front, okay? So again, we're just going to be folding forward. And we're going to slowly come up out of that. So we're not going to be standing like I promised. But we are going to be doing a sumo squat stretch. So ideally, you would have your hands together with your elbows on the inside of your thighs, and you need your heels, you need your feet to be grounded on the floor, okay? But it's going to be a wider stance than a regular squat. And don't worry, we won't stay here very long because this one gets me. And you're going to feel it all in there. Okay, now from here, we're going to place our hands down. We're going to get onto our knees, and we're going to do frog pose. So let me show you from this side. Again, that's just spreading our knees nice and wide, having our heels ideally in line with our knees if possible. But if you need a little bit less, you can have your feet closer together. That's totally okay. And I'm going to move to the pink mat because I want my hands on the mat, not on the floor. Okay. The day she ruined the white pants. So in frog pose, you can certainly, push your butt back just a little bit if you want more of an intense stretch. I just wouldn't push it too much. We really want to remain cognizant of our breathing. So if being on your forearms feels good, that's fine. If you can extend your arms out, that's great. If you're right here, totally fine. In fact, right here, you actually get a pretty good stretch. So, just kind of play around a little bit and see, what makes you most comfortable. What is your particular goal? Are you needing to release something? If you need to release something, you can always pause this. And what I would do is if you have a kettlebell, put it like right here, right? So you're going to place it down. You're going to lay on top of it. So it's just like that. And if you need to release your like psoas or whatever, that's a good one. All right, so the safe way to come out of frog is to come forward. I bring my feet together, my knees together, and I'm seated if I want to be, but I'm moving. Okay. So I wanted to do pigeon, but I didn't want to give PTSD to the people that did session 10. So it'll be a short pigeon, I promise. So our back leg fully extended. If you can, have your front leg at like a 90-degree angle, or basically have your knee and your heel in a straight line, that would be great. But my heel is always below my knee. So don't push it too far, Pigeon is like in the moderate of being a safe pose because people will sometimes think they can do more than they can, or they're not passive enough. when you're not passively doing some of these poses, let's go ahead and switch. You are kind of setting yourself up for the potential of injury, and yes, even in yoga. Again, just focusing on nice breaths, okay? Breathing in positivity, and when we exhale, all of the not positive energy is being released and contained so it can't affect anybody else. All right. So from pigeon, I'll move up here. From pigeon, we're going to go into straddle. So sit bones on our mat, opening our legs as wide as we possibly can. That's what she said. And then just doing a forward fold. Now, I'm doing straddle, or chose to do straddle, because I'm sure there are many of you that can do it better than I can. But since I did pigeon, I was like, all right, let me give them their, let them have them get me back for the pigeon PTSD, the 3-minute or 4-minute hold. All right. From there, we're going to bring one foot into the opposite thigh and then reach, okay? So you can do this if you want to have your stomach facing your leg. You can do it more on the side and bring your arm overhead as well, so you can get a nice stretch on the opposite side of your body. And you'll feel this like in your rib cage. And if you can't grab your foot, that's totally cool too. You can always grab your ankle or your calf, or above or below underneath your knee. All right. And let's extend the other leg out. We bring the other foot to the inside of the thigh. I knew I was going to have to make up. It's going to have to make up for X. Which is 10 in Roman numerals. All right, and then feel free to release. And that's it. I was nice today. Yay. Yay for everyone. Okay, so let's go into Shavasana. Let's see, can you see it? You can see me. Okay. So again, nice deep breaths. And if you watched my earlier meditation video, we talked about during the guided part, about imagining that you're smelling something that is like super comforting, relaxing, makes you feel good. When you're in Shavasana and you don't have, like the essential oils and the, like hand towel thing, just imagine that you're smelling that scent, the one that brings you the most comfort, you know. And really try to let your body sink into your mat as you're breathing. Try to feel like all of your bones and your muscles, your skin, everything start to like melt into the mat. And whether you're in Shavasana or if you're on your stomach with your head on your forearms, they're both recovery poses. So they're allowing you to feel the change or the difference or feel the work and the amount of energy that you put into your practice. So ideally, you know, if you can do a long Shavasana, that is amazing. Especially because, you know, again, your body's like getting used to what you just did and what you just maybe moved around, as well as resetting. So not resetting to before, you know, your practice, but resetting to include the work that you've done to help you get more flexible, to help you get stronger, and to also help with that mind body connection, because that's a big, 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 big part of yoga. That's why the breathing is so important. And with certain poses, it's really easy to forget. It's so easy to forget to breathe. All right. Once you feel like you're ready to safely come out of it, right, we're going to come onto our side and then push ourselves up and then come into a seated position. So hopefully I'm forgiven for session 10. You know, and if not, whatever, you needed it. So hopefully you did it. This was just basically like, okay, obviously we're not going to go balls to the wall with certain things every single session. Like there has to be variety, and our bodies respond best to variety. And I also, again, kind of almost like a recovery, right? So you didn't really have to do anything outside of the sumo squat, but the sumo squat was, I mean, yes, I guess that counts as standing, but I kept my promise, damn it. So, anyways, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or follow. And I'm definitely obviously going to continue making these videos, so don't worry, there's going to be tons of that. And then same thing as I tend to do the meditation videos and then go into the yoga videos. So that'll be continuing as well, of course. And other stuff too. There's a video that I titled it the way that I titled it for a reason. If you find it, it's called Viewer Question, Jenna Answers. There, if you watch it, you'll understand why I titled it the way I titled it and not something different, just based on the content alone. So thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, I'm going to do the namaste, which I always forget to do. Namaste. And, you know, I appreciate and I'm very, very, very grateful for everyone that watches these videos. And I hope that you're starting to get a little bit more flexy, a little bit stronger, or at least have more mobility. All right, y'all. I will see you on the next video. Bye, Wellness Crew.